Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. That guy is D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. We got Sam Flannel. He's on brand today, day number 13 of 365 consecutive days of flannel for Sam Flannel. There he is, right there. Got the black and white one on. We got Sawyer in the house as well. He's got his Tampa Bay Rays hat on today. We are locked and loaded. We are ready to go. Tap in on our YouTube channel if you're watching right now, which I know a lot of you are. Jump into that comment thread. Something on your mind? Drop it in there. We can get to it. We will. And we reference those as the show goes on all day long. We're live at the Planet Fitness Studios. And let's get it on. Let's get it on and popping. D-Mac, what's going on, man?
Well, I was down there for that absolute
for the bludgeoning
schmozzle last night. That was a schmozzle in itself down at LCA. And, we're going to get into it a little bit later. I don't want to blow my top to begin with. But you know what? Not acceptable. There's a lot of things I can accept in this inconsistency and in this rebuild. But last night, there's a lot of things that we'll dive into that I found unacceptable. And I think... looking at all social media last night, either people complaining about a lot of things in the wing-wheeled world. As far
people
as
were hot yesterday.
Intake of the game and whether you were there or watching it, whatever else. But to me, one great thing was having Jacob Verana come back, but to absolutely come out with that effort. And it was great to get him on the board, proving that's what he's going to do. What'd I say? Power play?
Yeah.
What do you do? Scored in a power play.
They only need to do it 9 more times.
I did not have. I was the one. I to my buddy Terry out there. I apologize, Terry, because I told him. He said he had Detroit, and how did I feel about it? And I told him this is one of the first games that I thought felt good about Detroit. I doubled down. It's a good thing I don't bet. Sorry, Terry, but no. I think that number one was. Really the first sort of punch in the face that I felt this year. And we talked about it earlier, but we can get into it eventually. But that's because I realized last night looking into it, whoa, slow down, guys. It's a good thing because our expectations have changed. So I want everybody to take yesterday. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down to whatever it is, different things that I saw that I want to bring people's attention. But then I want us to leave it here. Okay, so let's have yesterday and today, and then after today, the rest of the day, then by tomorrow, I want everybody to leave it and we move on. Because that's where we're at with this team.
I don't know if I could promise you that one, D-Mac. I don't know.
On. No, you have to. You're going to sit and you're gonna bemoan about what Arizona did to you at the end of the week, or you're going to move forward. As a fan, you're not hearing me correct because you're going to agree with me. Move forward as a fan with the expectations of can they bounce back and can they bury this behind them, right? They're on a short leash now because their expectations have superseded the season.
Which I agree with. And we will discuss coming up in the second hour. We'll reset that Red Wings Coyotes debacle because that's what it was. And I don't want that to get lost. That was a debacle, what happened last night.
It was more
we
of a
will
debacle
discuss.
because they're not even the score. Tell them the stat. That'll blow your abs. Listen, this could be the most unbelievable stat that I have heard in
maybe
sports.
Ever. So the Coyotes now have back-to-back games with at least 8 goals. They're the first team to do that since the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1996.
What?
Like Yager.
What?
That's crazy, man.
Wait, boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah,
right?
it is. And that
because
that just
it's the
drives
Arizona
home.
Coyotes, how many wins do they have? That was their 11th win of the year?
Yeah, not many. We'll just say it like that. Not many. It was embarrassing,
Although I
man.
do want to send a shout out because here's the caveat of what I've seen on the other side, right? Is the fact that with the Arizona Coyotes, Phil Kessel, obviously we know Phil Kessel's been around a long time. Their sniper. Well, he continued his Iron Man streak of 955 straight games, played one shift, got back, high-fived his teammates, flew back to Phoenix for the birth of his child. That was planned by Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix, who's moving into a 5,000-seat stadium. Phoenix, who really doesn't care about their hockey team. But to me, shows a little bit that this team doesn't care on the ice. They're going to go out and play hard. They've proven that the last 2 days. First team since the Pittsburgh Penguins back with Lemieux, Jagr, Stevens, all those guys.
It is. It's crazy. Robert Closia, good morning, everybody, was the first in the YouTube chat thread here today. It'll be a City Wednesday edition of Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. Detroit City FC opening kick on their USL season. That's right, the second division of American soccer starts Saturday night in San Antonio. Get San Antonio FC. The game will be on TV here in Detroit on TV 20. I'm just saying it will be. You may or may not know somebody that'll be on that broadcast. But anyway, that's going down. The keeper for Detroit City FC, Detroit Mercy product, Nate Steinwascher, will join us coming up at about 28 past the first hour here. So we'll talk with Nate Steinwascher. His road, I think he's the kind of guy that the fans here especially can get behind, because maybe Nate's one of those guys, D-Mac, that's not supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? With knocking on the door of the first division of American soccer. Like, he's probably not. If you go by the numbers and kind of recreate everything, maybe he's not supposed to be here, but here he is playing at a high level.
Sounds like
he's your kind of guy,
that
man.
Engine, and you said he's a Detroit Mercy kid, so that explains why. But look forward to talking to Nate.
Yeah, absolutely. Tammy Chin, don't forget to smash that like button on the YouTube channel. Yeah, you can do that too. And we're still thinking about you, Tammy, and your dad obviously in the hospital. So don't forget that. You know, everybody around here, Woodward Sports, Big D Energy family, we're all thinking about you, thinking about your dad, and hopefully he's doing better and pulling through. So yeah, we're gonna get in to all of that here today. Big time show lined up for you. I can't wait to, speaking of the Red Wings thing, to get to that Yzerman clip from last night. But with all that being said, I ran this by Sawyer because this is, I see this happening to me at home. And look, I told you guys before, like, I don't usually do television shows or stuff like that. Like, I don't do that. My wife, though, is currently watching. It's 1883, I want to say, right?
The prequel to Yellowstone.
The prequel to you a Yellowstone guy, right?
No, my wife is.
Your wife is. Okay, so same with me. So, like, I found myself through doing stuff around the house and popping in the room and popping out of the room and doing all that. Through osmosis, I've become kind of familiar with the storyline of 1883.
There was a show, I think it was on HBO Max, Bloodline. That was filmed down previous show. It's very similar to how I took in, without watching that show, know all about the show. Same sort of thing in my household, Neil.
Yeah, and I don't, again, I just kind of got sucked into it. I'm not saying sucked in where I'm going to go watch it on my own. No, I'm not going that far. But I do have an idea of the timeline of events and what kind of the topics are on the show and stuff like that. And I wonder if you guys had any shows like that where you just kind of got pulled into, and I'm not saying I'm into it, but you just know what's going on in it, even though you don't like actively watch it. I'm wondering if that happens to other people. Is that like I'm guessing that might be a marriage thing? It probably has something to do with it.
I guess.
We're just exposed to it.
Like, is it my time? Is like I don't like to commit if I can't commit to something, whatever like that. But to sit down, if I'm going to watch a series or something like this, and this maybe goes back to traveling on the plane or whatever like this, is like Dexter comes to mind. You know, you watch episode after episode. So unless I can binge watch like 3-4 episodes, that's how I do like the Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian or stuff like that. And that's funny too, dude, is because it's the commitment. I think for me, like I said, Bloodline, but Game of Thrones was that way for me. Right, I watched the first day, and I just sort of I couldn't commit the time, but would walk in the room, and you sort of knew who the characters were. You knew what was going on if you hung out there for a minute, right? So Game of Thrones to me would be like that, and I think maybe it is a marriage thing. Maybe it's, a marriage thing. And also, too, like our lives are in sports, right?
Sure.
So when the TV's on, if there's a sporting event, we don't have time. We got to catch up on what we want to view on our time, right?
Yeah, and I don't, right? Because
right.
I have to watch the Red Wings game, sadly for me, last night. I'm getting ready for TV broadcast for this weekend. Have to watch a Red Wings game, sadly, for me, as we all saw last night. But my wife is watching her little show, and it's funny to see Klompsaw says Parks and Rec because of my wife. J.D. Smith, Succession and Euphoria. Gromit 0237, Naked and Afraid. AC says My 600-Pound Life. And the
Pimple Popper, that was my wife's show. She's a nurse, though. Like all that 600-Pound Life, Hoarders,
all the
Pimple
medical
Popper.
stuff she likes.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, man.
No. I like Food Network. I'll lock in and sit down and watch. I know that stuff. But she also got me addicted to ID Network. That's also another one, all those murder shows and CSI shows that she'd always be watching.
Robert says, is 1883 a Western in the Deadwood style? I guess I've been told it's a prequel to Yellowstone, I guess that's the definite. Again, I don't watch it, although I know what's going on in it, which is kind of weird to say, probably weird to hear, but that's where it is. I don't watch it, but I know what's going on.
No, and I think that's what's it. But think about it with the streaming, and it's not as simple as that. You had to watch when we were growing up what was on TV, right? Appointment viewing. Now it's not, and there's so many There's so many shows I see in the chat thread, like Ozarks. I mean, I know
that is the one show I do watch,
but that's a big one too, and
yeah.
stuff like this. Hey, and the one show I do watch, the Curse of Oak Island. They're going to find something next week, guys. I know
We're still on this, Sawyer.
I know it. We're getting closer, but we're going down deeper, and we're bringing up timber now. We're getting there.
So that's like a Al Capone vault show or something like that?
No, there's stuff down there, man.
Oh, there is? Okay.
There's stuff down there. We got...
So you love this, don't you, every single week?
AU is gold, and we got gold shavings on some of the wood, so you know it's down there. It's just a matter of time.
Detroit Dabber, the Pimple Popper stuff just isn't for me. Some people find it satisfying. I find it disgusting. I'm with you, bro. I'm not in for that.
Hey, I got a question because it's starting up again. But like seventh season of like The Masked Singer, or I know they had this Alter Ego. Or
none of that
are
for
you
me.
into any
Not
of those?
1 second.
In your
Not
house?
1
in
second.
your household? Any
No.
of the kids?
No, not 1 second.
Okay, but that seems like the big thing because I just saw that they announced a bunch of these Masked Singers. They're doing a 50-city tour. I'm just saying, some people are watching. But if it's out there to watch, I guess you can watch it.
Yeah, that's not me. That's not where I live. That's not what I'm about. I'm not tapping into that. So I thought it was curious. Hexander says, Oak Island in 5-minute increments. Good Lord, they can't find anything.
They're getting there. It takes a while. We've got to get down. We've got to keep digging.
Okay.
If you're committed, you're committed. Don't hate the
Is that
player.
what it is, D-Mac? Be honest with me. Is it that you think they're going to find something, or is it that you put this much time into it and you're not going to waste it?
No, they're finding something now.
Which one do you, Sawyer?
They got all the big gear.
Sawyer, it said he put this much time into it and he's not quitting now, right?
And the commitment of time, and because I have a few friends that we all watch it at the same time. So it's something, and I love coming in, telling you guys that they're going to find something next week. But you know what though? Even though whether they do find it or they don't, I know what you like, the bag. They're going to find the bag at the bottom.
No,
and it's going to be more than this. But whether you like Oak Island or not, you should love Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. And how would you like to win $100K? Yes, you heard me right. $100,000. Just get to Lady Jane's today. Get a precision haircut and register for your chance to be six figures richer. Get the Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men near you, and one of their talented stylists will treat you like a king. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You walk in, relax, watch your favorite game, and before you know it, your hair will be ready. Yes, get in there today, sign in, sign up, get your hair cut, and get in for a chance to win $1,000. Walk in anytime, Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Sammy Flannel, and Sawyer here, Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live from the Planet Fitness Studios. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, the Oak Island apologist. This is the week, everybody. He says it. This is always the week, though, that Sam Flannel's rocking the flannel. We got Sawyer here in the house. Also happy to have you all along for the ride. About 10 to 12 minutes from now, we'll be joined by the goalkeeper for Detroit City FC, Nate Steinwascher. They start their USL season, their trek. Incredible story, Detroit City FC, by the way. But we will talk to Nate coming up, what he expects from the season, how he got here, just all of it. It is a very, very intriguing story. But before we do, we have to take a look back to yesterday. And, oh, by the way, baseball, do you remember yesterday in the Open how I talked about we'll give you the labor update and see what's going on, and then boom, all of a sudden the Aaron Rodgers news dropped, and then the Russell Wilson news dropped and all that. You know what we didn't get a chance to talk about? Baseball and the labor situation. And guess what? Because of what happened yesterday, guess what we're not going to talk about right now? Baseball and the labor situation. It's not looking good, D-Mac. Nobody cares. Bro, nobody cares. But anyway, speaking of that, yesterday was wild. In the National Football League, D-Mac, it was wild and crazy. Aaron Rodgers going to do a new deal with Green Bay. Russell Wilson went to Denver. Mike Williams signed a long-term contract with the Chargers. A couple of franchise tags as well. The NFL, man, to quote Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street, revolutions. Revolutions 24/7. The park never closes. The AFC West now stacked at quarterback. But that's it, D-Mac. It's revolutions, man. It never stops anymore.
Well, I think what you saw yesterday is something that we've talked about here, is which way the Lions are going to go, because there's a reality that in a few years, the Detroit Lions could be in a position the Denver Broncos. It's the same thing they just did. They took the LA Rams plan. You know, they went out and whether it's a trade but acquired the draft capital, had the people, the picks to make this move happen. Now, And if you look at what Denver already has in place, right, we can agree pretty much around them. They got a pretty solid team in place around them. We all know they're known, you know, for their defense and stuff like that. Right now, Russell Wilson makes them a couple steps better than what they had with Drew Lock and stuff, and this is what they've been fighting for in a while. But to me, it looks like a great move, and this could be something, again, I'm looking for this year's draft to dictate which way the Lions go. But to me, this is more the Rams' way that the Broncos did, and that you're going to acquire your guy. So, yeah, I mean, my question to you is that because Aaron Rodgers announced, you know, that he was coming back, and then you saw the stuff with the McAfee that, the contract wasn't signed and the numbers were different or stuff like that. Do you think that... Of
course they were.
Because he's more and more somebody brought to my attention, but he's an attention whore, Aaron Rodgers. Do you think that the Russell Wilson news, like, sort of PO'd him yesterday? The fact that it came out and sort of took the shine off it?
My favorite part...
What's a bigger story? And here in Detroit, because we play the Packers, Rodgers coming back's a bigger story. But isn't this a bigger story in football that Russell Wilson's going to Denver? Doesn't that make them a top-notch NFL Super Bowl contender?
Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody's saying, and I guess that's like the easy answer. I don't buy. Yeah, I mean, I don't buy it the way that everybody else buys it. Just for me, in that. I know Bradley Chubb's a good player. Cortland Sutton is a decent player. All that kind of stuff.
Sutton's better than decent.
Right. He's a good
But I'm saying
good
is that
player.
they have a team around him. But what I'm saying is Russell Wilson, when you look at that team, putting him in at quarterback, and I don't think he's still the same Russell Wilson, right?
That's my angle on it.
So he's still a step up. But again, how much of it was the Seattle and the position that he's put in? So he's got things to prove too. This ain't like if Denver acquired like Aaron Rodgers and stuff like this, which I heard the talks that there was some negotiations on everybody's part. But to me, I think that this gives Russell Wilson every opportunity. And I think that here's the thing for us, Neil, is we'll really find out if Russell Wilson's got anything left or not. It's sort of like the Peyton Manning thing, isn't it? Like, I'm not comparing Russell Wilson and Peyton Manning.
As you shouldn't.
But I'm comparing their situations with Indianapolis and Denver and Seattle and Denver. So it worked out for Peyton to go there and win a championship, and he needed a team to do it. So I'm interested. It makes that AFC division, a lot tighter. So now you got Russell Wilson going against Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, all that. Great for football. But again, what'd you say? NFL. Revolutions.
Yeah, revolutions, man.
Revolutions,
360,
baby.
365,
this is what they do. And then you look
24/7.
at, was there anything that happened as far as the tags or the re-signing? I mean, I thought that was something that the commitment that the Chargers gave to Mike Williams was something that, there's one of the top receivers out there. I mean, but it also goes to, what did he sign? 3 years, $60
million, yeah. It was,
But again, it goes to your point, right? About $20 million going to that guy. That's your whole salary cap. Or would you rather have a guy that you drafted to beat up to there? Now, to me, he's earned his money there, right? For whatever else. But again, you're committing a lot if you're the Chargers to that one position.
For me, the biggest thing that I liked was the whole Jerry Jeudy range of emotions. So you put those tweets up there where it became apparent that Rodgers was going to re-sign with the Packers. He had the sad emoji. And then an hour and a half later, once the news of Wilson dropped, he said, "Oh, we lit." So, sorry, I know you were there for that.
Oh, yeah. No, that was definitely the winner of the day yesterday.
I did enjoy that for sure. But, for me, and there's a couple people, Chuck Brewer, I think, echoes my sentiments about the whole Russell Wilson thing. Really overpaid, in my opinion, past year one. It's a win for Seattle, period. That's an enormous amount of draft capital that Denver gave up. And everyone says that, right? Like, that's the buzzword where they're here now, and now they're a Super Bowl contender. For me, like, I don't think he comes in and covers all that ground at 34 years old, especially the Russell Wilson that we've seen in the terms of the last few years for the Seattle Seahawks. And that's a ton and you guys watching on YouTube right now, you saw what the haul was for that. You're talking about multiple picks, multiple firsts, multiple seconds. The players are whatever. Noah Fant for me is that guy that everyone, the first couple years in the league, everyone kind of takes their turn with him in fantasy football, and now he's kind of become an afterthought as far as fantasy football stuff goes. And I'm not saying that's the gauge, everybody, so calm down, because I know I get heat when I say that Matt Stafford always gets drafted in the 9th round of fantasy football, so how can he be like the greatest player in the league? It's a contributing factor, guys. It's just a little gauge to look at from that perspective.
And here's the one thing that you'll have to be prepared if you go that way, which the Rams had to do and which it shows Denver has to do, is that you got to pay to play. It's not going to be cheap, but that's why you look at what Denver did. They had these assets to be able to give away. First round of this year, second round of this year, first and second last. You know what I'm saying? So they're invested all in, right? In return, this is what a great deal for Seattle. Right? To be able to get back to the drawing board, maybe to do some things that they hadn't been able to do.
Yeah, and they're locked up and ready to roll.
Right? And start it off again. So that'll be interesting to see what they do. But that's a heck of a haul, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this is another great point. I think some of our listeners are on point right now. Francis Garcia says, how would we feel about the Lions if Russell Wilson came here? Excited? I'm somehow just meh on him. And that's exactly how I haven't seen it lately. Like I don't see how you drop Russell Wilson into Denver and then all of a sudden they're Super Bowl contenders. I don't see it that way. I don't.
No, I don't. I don't either. But that's what Denver sees, and you never know change of scenery. And if he has something left or whatever else, I think that we can agree that he's surrounded by more talent in Denver than he was in Seattle. Would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair.
He's got some guys that can fly.
Right.
You can get him the ball.
But he was another one of those guys that had to have a historically great defense to win a championship, right? Is that
fair?
What
does he have in Denver?
I wouldn't say they're historically great.
But they've had a historically great defense, right? So what I'm saying is Denver, you're not worried about them of figuring out. They know how to solidify whether it's in free agency or whatever, but they're known as more of a defensive team, correct?
Correct.
Right? We don't worry about them. So again, he's going into this more of the same situation as relying on his defense. So he knows how to rely on his defense because he did in Seattle, correct?
Right.
So there you go. But we'll see. I'm not sold on it. I wasn't sold on him at the end. It just it's like he's lost some pop in his gun.
Yeah. I wonder, in Seattle right now, I think they're sitting there like over $51 million in cap space for this upcoming year. I mean, the highest cap that they have on the team is Puna 4, defensive tackle. So I mean, they're in very good shape.
Can we touch on this a little bit? I'm going to dig into your draft capital salary cap brain, right? Seattle with this move with these trades and really is set up
it's a
the
reboot.
Way you want for like a huge rebuild quickly, which is what the NFL can do if you have capable people picking. We could see Seattle back up there, boom, in a couple years.
You know what Seattle is right now? Seattle's what I want the Lions to be next year. They are.
I know.
What they are right now, that's
right?
That's what I want the Lions to be next year. So for everybody that was talking, when we discussed yesterday about the Amari Coopers and all the receivers and everything like that, and I said, no. I want the Lions to be next year what the Seahawks are this year. They have an express. They push the reset button in the express lane, not behind me with 31 items either. Like they walked up right in, ready to go. And I love where their franchise sits right now. Now, I know Pete Carroll's 137 years old. I get that. I understand that. But they're in a position right now with tons of cap space, with tons of draft cap. They got a blank canvas right now. And they don't have a quarter. They're not trapped with the quarterback right now.
No, and I think what you're going to see is Pete Carroll sort of not having as much control as he had to get them to this spot. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan, I'm excited. Are you not? For what? Like, it's almost like I took out the trash, I'm cleaning up a little bit. I got a couple guys that the ones that are still around, whatever else, but I'm sort of starting new, and I can see it that I can get back quicker than a lot of other teams.
Yeah, what they did a good job of cutting bait. I almost wish the Lions, and they wouldn't have. And this is where it is with the whole Patricia Quinn, that whole thing. We're still paying that penalty right now. We are, because the Seahawks analyzed the situation. They said, look, this is over. And they made the move, and boom, they're the Lions next year that I want. They have $51 million in cap space. They don't have a quarterback on the books right now. They zoomed past the Lions as far as the rebound. And I know a lot of people are talking about that right now. They did. They passed the Lions in the process right now. They did. Now they might not have a couple of the. But they do. They have the DK Metcalf on the rookie deal. I can't remember if he has any time left on it. But that's what I'm talking about, though, with the Seahawks, is they jump past the Lions because of the damage that is still being sorted through from the last regime. Still, don't forget that, guys. With the Lions and with everybody that's on board right now, with, again, from a management perspective, they still have to, quote unquote, take out some of the trash financially.
And they're doing that. We mentioned that coming down here. What are they going to do with Trey Flowers? But they're putting it in the position. They're being put in the position, Neil, right, that we can move forward. Just we had more trash and garbage to clean. We not only had to clean the house, we had to clean the yard.
Yeah, absolutely. Cintron World's an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalize their shots. Cintron's the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice. You can buy online at cintronworld.com with promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Neil Rule here for Wing Snob, and as you guys have told me before, it takes a snob to know a snob, right? So
Amen.
That's why I'm here talking about Wing Snob. Fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wing Snob, the best traditional wings in the wing game today. That's a bold statement, I know, but that doesn't make it any less true. Try the signature sauces, the Jamaican jerk, or the lemon pepper. Wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce you choose. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. You can order online right now. Wingsnob.com. Wing Snob. They just have better wings. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Sawyer, Sam Flannel here in the house. We talked about it earlier. It is a City Wednesday edition of Big D Energy. Every single week during the course of the USL season this year, we will be joined by somebody from Detroit City FC. We're gonna lead off here on the opening week of USL action for Detroit City FC. Remember, you can get tickets all season long at debtcityfc.com. Local guy, former University of Detroit Mercy product. He's a goalkeeper for Detroit City FC. He is Nate Steinwascher. Nate, appreciate you taking some time, my friend. What's going on, man? How you feeling? You guys ready to rock or what?
Yeah, we're ready to go. Thanks for having me on, Neil and Darren. Yeah, I mean, we're excited. We're excited. I mean, it's a big year for the club. I think for a lot of us, long time coming. But yeah, we're just looking forward to the weekend, you know.
My question to you, Nate, obviously with what went on at LCA last night and there was no goaltending, how important the goaltending at DCFC will be. Spotlights on you, pitchers, goaltenders in this city. So when they say the Red Wing goaltender and the quarterback of the Lions has the worst job, no, bro. You're the champion in the city.
Right.
You're backstopping it. Most important question, though. Did you have any influence as the goalie on your kit? The new unis and stuff? Because I think the powder blue is cool.
I like the powder blue as well. No, I don't really get to pick the colors. So, but yeah, always surprised kind of couple days before the jersey reveal I get to see. But yeah, I mean, cool colors this year. We got the blue, yellow, purple, a little different than what we've done in the past. Last year it was green and orange. So yeah, it's I think we'll be looking good out there.
Nate Steinwascher, our guest here, the keeper for Detroit City FC. They square off against San Antonio FC Saturday night at 8:30. Opening kick for the USL Championship season for DCFC. That game will be available on TV 20. Want tickets? The home opener is next weekend. Go to debtcityfc.com. So, Nate, what about that, man? And you and I, D-Mac brought up the kits and everything like that. And you and I were kind of talking backstage at the kit reveal in downtown Detroit. And you had a pretty interesting take on things where I think you parallel this club just in that, this club shouldn't be where they are right now. I mean, if you go through all the technicals and everything like that, the beginnings of the club and now all the way up to the USL Championship level that's been built really from the ground up. You were a guy, very, very accomplished keeper at Detroit Mercy. You gave it a go over in Europe playing professionally. You did that for a while. Things changed for you. You came back here. You started transitioning into an everyday job. But here you are, too. Are there a lot of parallels between you and Detroit City FC?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've talked to a few people about it. I feel like I kind of grew with the club. I was there for the first year, trained with the club, back in 2012, and then rejoined with them in 2016, and kind of, on and off, and kind of grown with the club. I mean, the club has kind of grown, and the supporter group has gotten bigger and bigger, and my career has just kind of followed that same trajectory. So yeah, I mean, it's great to see the club come as far as it has, and it's great for me to be a part of it because, like you said, yeah, definitely a parallel, and I'm really excited for what's ahead.
You know what? I got a couple questions, but the first one I'm going to ask you is about the championship culture. And obviously, you're a huge, obviously, part of it. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Scotty Bowman of the USL in Trevor James, your coach, right? Because we both have the ability to play for some of the greatest minds of their sport and what Trevor's done. But what would you see? And I've been down there, and to me, and I will continue to say it, it's that the DCFC and the fans, and whether it's Northern Guard, no matter what it is to the players, you're all in it together. But what can people expect? And just talk to me about Trevor James and the culture, because that's what we're talking about here, and that's what you have with DCFC and down there. But Trevor James is a Scotty Bowman, if people don't know, of the USL. So talk to me about culture.
Course. Yeah, I think that was something, coming in, the club had a good kind of culture already built, and then Trevor came in and instilled, his kind of mindset towards, becoming a professional club and what that takes. And I think just everything that Trevor's done inside the locker room and with the club in terms of building this culture and really, instilling like a sense of professionalism wherever we go. And I think that was huge in the club's growth. Like, we were in Nisa, and some clubs, I guess, weren't necessarily as, I guess you could say, as professional as we were. And Trevor really pushed everyone to, how we carried ourselves and how the club acted, how the players acted for the club. I think was huge, and that's really helped as a group of players us grow to what we're going towards here. And then as a club, I mean, you see the results on the field, and you see the results, every year. We just keep getting better and better, and now we're going into, the next stage of the club's growth. And I think just overall, like everything Trevor's done, the players he's brought in to fit the culture and fit what we're trying to do as a club, has been great. So yeah, really looking forward to what this year has in store for us. And then going back to like the players he brought in, I think that'll be a help. Trevor's done a great job bringing in the right players, as we make this next step. So really excited for what's to come.
Nate, again, going back to the discussion, when you look at this now, Detroit City FC in USL Championship, and this hits different now. I mean, when you look at it, let's take a look at the flip side of the coin right now. Now you're talking about clubs all across America. Now you're talking about the Louisvilles of the world with $75 million stadiums in downtown areas, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who have just a long-standing tradition of success and fan support and everything. It's getting real here, Nate. Like this is as real as it gets now, and you're talking about teams with players with six-figure contracts and everything like that. Like this is big time right now. How do you handle that, Nate? I know how the club will handle it because the club's done this many times. How do you handle it out there now? Is where again, you're going up against some of the best players, not only in America, but guys from around the world that come play in this league too. I mean, this is the bright lights now, national TV contracts, all of it. This is real, man.
Yeah, I think, personally as a player, I think you just kind of try to approach it as you approach every other game. Easier said than done, but, I think it'll be fun playing in front of all the fans, and, you get to go travel to different stadiums and play in front of different supporter groups and everything. So I'm really excited for it. That's something that, the leagues in past that we played in have kind of lacked, is the supporter groups and supporters and fans in the stands for kind of all of our away games. But honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. And I think a lot of the times that environment kind of helps me thrive personally. So yeah, I think just kind of approaching it as I would, a home game here. Maybe the fans aren't as friendly as a home game here, but yeah, I think it'll help me, and help the players get up for the games a little better. So it's exciting.
I love it, Nate. Talking to Nate Steinwascher, the Stein Monster, in net for your DCFC. Fighting spirit. Yes. Anyways, a question I always wanted to ask the goaltender in soccer, because penalty kicks or penalty shots and stuff like this. From a goaltender's perspective, like, how much is instinct, how much is scouting report, and like how do you, in those moments, and usually us fans only see it in the World Cup or if we follow the big-time moments, but it's such a big part, or can be a big part of the outcome of the game. From a goalie's perspective, like, do you think it's more instinct, or is it more scouting report, or how do you take us inside your mind while you're getting ready for a shootout?
Yeah, I think you like to watch film of the penalty kick takers before the game, and we've watched film of some of the free kicks that players take and everything. But a lot of it, I mean, in the moment, a lot of it comes down to instinct. Like, as soon as you step up, as soon as a player steps up for the penalty, you kind of try to gauge how they're going to approach the ball, and then you hope that you've watched enough film to kind of prepare you for how he's going to approach it, and then what way he's going to go, and then it just becomes you have to be confident and just go whatever way you're going to go in a penalty, especially. I mean, you're not always going to save it, and I think that's the most frustrating part sometimes as a goalkeeper is you're not supposed to save it, but then when you do make the save and when your players get up for it, and it can help push the team forward a little more and just really pick up the team. And maybe you're in a bad spell at the time, and maybe that helps get your team going and get the ball, and maybe you end up scoring a few minutes later. So all of that goes into just really, like, if you make that save, what the results could be. So that's I enjoy it. I enjoy that aspect of it, because it's like I said, I'm not supposed to save it, but when I do, it's that much better of a feeling. So.
All right, well, Nate, certainly appreciate your time, especially on a big match week coming up. And like we said, we're going to be doing this every single week, all season long. It's a long grind. Like people say a season's a grind. You guys are getting ready to grind it out. There is no doubt about that. But as always, appreciate your time. You're my guy, man. Sure. And we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, that was Nate.
It.
That was Nate Steinwascher, everybody, the goalkeeper for Detroit City FC. They are in action, kicking off their time in USL Championship Soccer this Saturday. It'll be on locally on TV 20 here in Detroit. They play in San Antonio against San Antonio FC all season long, available on ESPN Plus as well. And go to DebtCityFC.com for tickets. This man over here he's been in the mix. He's hooked. He says he's rolling back out.
Popping smoke, singing songs. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Shout out to the Northern Guard. You betcha here. What a great segue, Neil, right? Because we're talking about keeping things out and goaltending and staying out, Guardian Alarm.
Nate Steinwascher should endorse Guardian Alarm. They should work on that.
Guardian Alarm and the Stein Monster, I think it's made in heaven. Let's make it happen. You know it. Guardian Alarm, they get it, whether for your home, your business, or defending the nets down in Hamtramck. A good defense helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 monitoring. First off, wait, will you stop by LCA, please? They need more help, those goaltenders of the Red Wings. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, we'll get to that top of the hour. Guardian Alarm has all the convenient features that let you check in on your home or business from your phone, the lights, the temperatures, the smoke, if it's on fire, or the deadly silent killer carbon monoxide. It will detect for you. So if you want to be part of the Woodward Sports Network, Big D Energy family, you can too, but I need you to call today, and that number is 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Need it for everybody in the back getting coffee on this beautiful day out in Woodward. 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Get out of his house. Leave those flannels alone. You know it. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Make sure you tell them that your friends at Woodward Sports sent you Big D Energy. We will be right back. D-Mac and Neil Rule here on a hump day.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag out. And there they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sawyer, Sam Flannel as well. Big thank you to Nate Steinwascher, the goalkeeper for Detroit City FC, also the media department at DCFC for hooking that up as well. We're going to be doing it all season long. They got a long haul. Season goes from this weekend all the way up until just about November. So think about that. Full-on professional league. Benjamin Foe on our YouTube chat thread says, DCFC, the only good team in Detroit. Well, I mean, they do win a lot. And Pistons fan 11 says, I love soccer. You know what, though? And again, I know, and look, the soccer thing here in the city has a very hard line, right? There's the elder statesmen out there that don't quite understand it because they didn't grow up with it the same way that. And sorry, I go to you. Recent college graduate.
Frat boy.
Frat dude. Where do you stand on soccer?
You gotta
do not actively seek it out, but I have friends who are big Premier League fans. So at school, I'd go out with them on Saturday mornings. Have a Guinness, watch some soccer. It's a good time.
And they're taking
it's a good community. Yeah, it's a good community to be a part of.
So there you have it. And Sawyer kind of breaking it down. I think that's the progress that soccer has made. And through all that, I would think that the Detroit City FC story, 5 guys kicking in some money and starting this amateur club that has built itself all the way up to USL Championship with national television contracts and $75 million stadium. If there's anything that Detroit fans, I would think, would get behind, it would be that, just for what they represent, right? They're everything. A, they're playing, right? They're not in a labor dispute. They're playing now. And B, that's as Detroit of a story as there is, man. That's homegrown.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Neil. Nobody knows the story. I believe it's through lack of not knowing it. And the fact that you brought up in the conversation with Nate is the fact that they've now entered the big league, where I didn't know Louisville had a $75 million. I know the Tampa Bay Rowdies from living down there.
Yeah, you were down there,
Oh, wow, it's in that league. Right? In that league, which is, like you said, six-figure salary.
Yeah.
This is big boys league.
Yeah.
Right? They're entering the big boys league. And to see that and to know more, that's why being a part of it, it's more so of media or coverage or not giving it a chance, because I'm all about it. It's as Detroit as anything is, being down there, the passion and whatever, and you brought to the point, and that's why I love, right? That's why I love, and it's sort of it's what they've done at DCFC is what I want to do with wrestling. And for Michigan and stuff like this and whatever is to have the passion to put it together for the right reasons and build it for the fans, right? So so my thing is through the health and wellness and stuff like this, but it's all about the product. And when you go to a DCFC, or if you haven't been, give it a chance, because the energy and the vibe and being a part of something, if you want to be a part of something and open arms and a cheer, and then now here's the difference, right? Now they've put the talent on the field. They put the championships. You can't say, oh, who'd you play? Who'd you play? No, now you're going to play, and now you're going to see. And that's the whole thing with the culture built and these guys with the opportunities. You're bringing in guys that have gone for cups of coffee and maybe haven't succeeded chasing their dreams of playing in Europe and other things like that. But they realize what they have in the opportunity here. And I think that you got something special. And it's not overnight, Neil, because you're entering in the big boy world. But with the character and the culture and the coaching and everything else, they will be successful, and probably sooner than all the rest of the teams. So I've been there. I speak from experience, but it's up to everybody else. Because at the end of the day, right, it's facilitating the option. And once you know you have the option, then it's whether you do or you don't. Like, okay. And so people don't know they have the option. I think that's and winning against and showing this. Oh, we went down, who would have thought 75? That blew me away. That Louisville's got a $75 million facility. Like these are, to me, follow the money.
Man.
What do I always say? Follow the money. When you're going into places that have money, you're going in and playing guys that have big, like six-figure contracts. That's something.
Yeah, and for me, it's one of those things, right? Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it's big. It doesn't mean that it's not big.
Well, didn't we just talk about the television shows at the beginning and different things? And there's so many different ways. There's so many things out there. There's movies. There's everything that you haven't seen or shows you haven't seen that you're like, where did this come from? Oh, it's been out 3 or 4 years or something like this. To me, that's what DCFC is until you find it. Once you find it or get involved, right, Neil, and you know that. And it leads into the whole Hamtramck, Folling, walking, Keyworth Stadium atmosphere, right? So if you're curious, check it out. You know what I'm saying? And then plus for everybody else, like if you're part of or like that culture, whatever, you can get like a true pint down there and stuff like that. You know
proper
what I'm saying?
pint.
Like,
yeah, there you
go.
go.
Like that experience.
AC in our YouTube chat thread says summer is now soccer season, not baseball season. RIP MLB. And we'll, if we can wrap it around all the football offseason stuff, maybe we'll give an update on the baseball labor situation. But as we were talking about yesterday, the whole sports world was really hijacked with it. And we knew it was coming, right? Like it was franchise tag deadline day. So we knew these types of things were coming. You knew they were going to make some kind of move with Davante Adams, and that was going to necessitate an Aaron Rodgers move as far as what they were doing. But Aaron Rodgers signs a $200 million contract for 4 years, and I think it was Rack earlier in the YouTube chat thread said, of course, Aaron Rodgers has to come out and refute the terms of the deal and say, Sawyer, of course there had to be an issue with it, with Aaron Rodgers. Well, some of those numbers aren't accurate, and I don't really know what everybody's saying. But here's the bottom line. What does Rodgers' contract mean for the future market? I think it means the same, and this does bring in baseball because D-Mac was talking about this a little bit. He's now the highest paid player in NFL history at 4 years, $200 million. Baseball, I think, is seeing what we're going to see a continuation of with football. And you brought up a great point earlier where you I forget what the number was, like 77% of the MLB makes less than $1 million per year.
I was talking to Craig Monroe, Valley Sports.
Craig, come on, Craig.
Come on, Craig. Last night at the Wings game. Great to see his family out. Had them all at the game. That was awesome. Anyway, so we're talking about it, and he brought that up to me when talking about trying to explain to me, the difference of players' side and what some of the players. And when he said to me, like, 77% of Major League Baseballs make $1 million or less.
Right.
Right. If you showed that in a graph sheet, it would be much more apparent to you, right? So you'd have sort of down this way and then spike, which knows that it's top heavy. To me, I don't know, as a fan, that just struck me. Like that just hit me like, whoa. And it's one of these things that they're fighting from, like the players want like $600 for minimum salary or the players want $7, the owners want $6 or something like this, and the luxury tax. And at the end of the day, it just gives you a big headache because it's a game you love. And to ask Craig Monroe, who works Valley Sports and stuff, what's going on? Is there an end in sight? And him saying, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the parallel, though. I think what we're seeing with football is what we're going to see with baseball, where that gap with the quarterback salary is going to continue to grow versus the rest of the league. But, I mean, at the same time, it's like the NFL is like a league with a starting pitcher, but that starting pitcher starts every game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a good one.
Right. That would make more sense. But again, it's the money driven. But I don't know. I just took that as a fan and went, wow, the disparity in that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So what does that tell you? Like, what's the conversation? How do we get to an end? Because it's always sort of going to be like that. And the one thing that Craig made me realize is that back in 2016, is pretty much the concessions that were made by the players is a lot of things they're trying to fight back for. That's when, so a lot of times what it tells to me is along the lines of the history, things that were made in the past now are catching up to you. It's sort of like the deferred contract to Matt Ryan in Atlanta, right? Your money's coming due at one point. Well, this is where the bill comes due. And to me, what it told me, Neil, even more so, is the owners have all the control. At the end of the day,
well,
the
and the quarterbacks have all the control. And the quarterbacks have all the control right now as far as the NFL salary goes because Aaron Rodgers,
right?
And we saw
the
this.
NFL has made it that way,
right? But we saw this.
And
I think
you say that like right to that comparable, right? Look at the value of a quarterback compared to the value of a running back. You know what I mean? You just see that. I just see that as Carolina's shopping Christian McCaffrey
and expecting a first-round pick for him. That's it, and probably not going to get it.
No, but that's what I'm saying is the value, right? So that's why you have to look. But it's because the NFL has made that player valuable, and then they've taken advantage of it. And you look at the way that it's only going up, right? How does the NFL stop the quarterback? So if Aaron Rodgers
they can't because it's the most important position in sports.
But I'm saying, are we going to have a $100 million quarterback?
Yeah, you will at some point, man. Yeah, it's never going to stop. Because we saw this with Stafford when Stafford became the highest paid quarterback. He was like the highest paid quarterback for a week and a half. And then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And now we see Aaron Rodgers at $50 million per year. That's the baseline. Now the next one. If Josh Allen cashes in a couple Super Bowls, where's he going to end up? You know what I'm saying? I know he's different because he's going to be a little bit older, but of that ilk.
I just remember, so what was it when Matt Stafford signed for the highest paid quarterback 5 years ago?
So, yeah, I don't remember
5, 6 years
about
ago.
That time frame.
So that was if that was 25, 26 million, and now we're at 50. So if you do the math of double and half or whatever like this, by 2030, 2032, you're looking at a $100 million quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it could be there. It certainly could be there. It's really out of control. Detroit Dabber 313, the game day experience for DCFC is awesome. It's like gangs of New York walking down the streets. It is kind of like that. That's a pretty funny comparison. Gypsy Vodka, folks. What's that?
That's a great comparison.
It is. It's exactly like that.
Five corners and Bill the Butcher.
And maybe knocking down some Gypsy Vodka before you walk into Keyworth. That would be my play. Anyway, 50 different formulas, countless taste tests. Gypsy Vodka, the best tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. It's gluten-free. It's corn distilled 6 times. It uses artesian spring water. It's made in Petoskey. All that's cool. All I know, cool-looking bottle there, that's cool too. I pour some of the contents inside that cool-looking bottle into a glass with some ice and some club soda, a couple hits of lime. Boom, we're rocking and rolling. It is a Saturday night. It's Gypsy Vodka. Sawyer's putting it in all his Bloody Marys now. We got him on one. You guys have been tweeting me pictures when you're buying Gypsy Vodka at the store. I appreciate that. We've been showing those as you guys send those in as well. So, hey, we appreciate it. And the bottom line is, as you guys have all found, it's just good vodka. Go to the store, ask for it by name. It's Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly.
Think you're a big shot?
Oh, excuse me, it goes down!
Think you can make the big shot?
Washington fires and hits!
Woodward Sports wants to send you to the finals for college basketball April 2nd through the 4th in New Orleans. That's right, you and a friend in the Big Easy. We'll take care of the airfare, hotel, and tickets to see the finals for college basketball. Listen Monday through Friday to the Morning Woodward Show. Big D Energy. And the bottom line for your chance to qualify. If you can make the big shots, you and a friend are getting out of the cold and to New Orleans.
Got it!
Keep listening and watching for your next chance to win. Powered by Planet Fitness, Centron, and the Sports Marketing Agency.
And it's over! Anything can happen in March!
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Woodward Sports trying to send you to the New Orleans College Basketball Finals. That's right. Listen to the Morning Woodward Show afternoons right here with Big D Energy and Drive Time with the bottom line. Also, you want more chances to win, make sure that you're following Woodward Sports on Twitter, the Gram, and head to woodwardsports.com. Let's get somebody qualified to get a shot to go to New Orleans. And we're going to make you work for this one. This one's going to be a little more difficult. What color is Sam's flannel today? But we're not going to show Sam. So you have to tell me, if you're in the YouTube chat thread, drop it in there. What color is Sam's flannel today? First correct answer we see. We'll have Sam pop on. We'll show you what color flannel it is just to make sure that we're being on the up and up about it. And he'll tell you the email address you have to send an email to. And we'll get you qualified for an opportunity to go to New Orleans, one of my favorite towns in America. AC says, I want to eat crawfish with Zion. You'll be at that table for a long time, according to reports, eating crawfish with Zion. Nope. Plaid's not a color, guys, so we're not doing that. We got some great guesses coming in. Nobody's right so far. Hey, we got to make them work. Hey. All the answers so far are wrong, everybody. So, plaid is not a color, though. We are gonna say that. And no, blue is Friday, everybody. Blue's Friday. Detroit Dabber says, I'm already qualified. Well, there we go. Spirit Walker 77 got it. He's got the black flannel on, the black plaid flannel. So let Spirit Walker know what he's got to do. He's got to send the email, Sam Flannel. Where's he got to send the email to?
I love March Madness 2022 at gmail.com. I'll repeat it. I love March Madness 2022 at gmail.com.
So there you go. He'll get the pertinent information he needs, and we will get you in the mix for it. So appreciate you guys all tapping in. As much as didn't want to get to this part of the show, we have to. Red Wings yesterday get stomped by the Coyotes 9-2. Hey, I guess Verona scored, right? Cool.
What? Absolutely. You know what?
Give it to me, D-Mac. Because look,
everybody's right. Everybody's right. All right? The hashtag Yzer plan. Show me the picture. I've seen this look. I've seen this, and if you don't think, why do you say hashtag Yzer plan? Because we're on the same page. And last night after the first period, watch this.
That look. For those of you listening on the radio, he's hiding behind his chair, everybody.
I know that. Keep it there. I know that look. I'm hiding. Come here. Come here. And Michael, I'm going to say this to you because I don't defend the Wings. I give you reasons that I know because I have 4 cups. I was in that locker room with that man. And you know what? Last night, after the first period, I would have gone into that dressing room and ripped arse so hard. The thing is, guys, I'm going to show you something that shows why. This is why. When the message no longer gets across, which you can all speculate that it wasn't getting across. I knew this, and that then. Screw you, because it wasn't time. But when you watch this, right, this is a telltale sign. We all know this. No engagement by the players to the message of the coach. So is this not the first time, or I've had the questions or whatever, but do I believe something has to change? Because here's the thing, Neil. Why? What has happened on the team? The expectations of the fan base has risen. So you only get pissed off. And hey, to the idiot who threw your Larkin jersey on the ice last night, I get your frustration, bro, but we don't act like that. That's how you act in Toronto. That's how you act in Chicago. That's how you act elsewhere, right? Be frustrated, okay? Now, the telltale sign is how do they bounce back and see what they have, anything in them, because it's the commitment to defense. And since the All-Star game, the goals against is 5.2. So it's great you can score, but you can't keep the puck out of the net. And you know what? That's the most embarrassing thing. And I can tell you this, knowing Steve Yzerman, that is more unacceptable than anything else going on right now. So the fact also, too, is that you have Verona, like I was saying, and great, he scored on the power play like I told you he would. right, is the fact, right, that they lay an egg and they haven't showed that commitment and they're flat. And I don't care what it is. You can give some of the young kids that they're tired or whatever, but it's the message. And it's not about anything else, but it's just that is unacceptable for the Detroit Red Wings for that effort when they're playing other teams. And obviously, you know what it tells me, Neil? It tells me that this was underneath the surface even before they played those games against the top teams. It was just ready to crack. And when you come out, and yes, it is so amplified because this is Arizona, right? And you can hide. So at the end of the day, you saw Stevie's face reaction because he's not going to hide it. I'm pissed because that's not the wing-wheeled way. Everybody else is pissed, and we've seen it, and it doesn't help to whatever else, as you should be, because expectations have gone up. Now own it and see what they do from here, but it looks to me, and I will say, it's time for somebody to spread it, and the message ain't getting there to whatever else, and I saw that frustration of Stevie, and we'll wait and see. I love Jeff Blashill, but it's also what did I always say? When he's not the guy for the job, Stevie's going to make that move. Is it more apparent than it has been in the past to me that last night, because of everything else, it might not be? 5.2 goals against. Dude, that's friggin', who is that? Winnipeg back in 86? I mean, come on, man. That's just, you're not going to win anything. And it's because expectations have gone up. You have some young individual. You got such a good positive thing. But last night, that was the black mark. That was the punch in the gut, punch in the face, kick in the snuts of the season. But it tells me because expectations are higher.
All right, here's a valid question. CJ Schneider says. CJ Schneider says, and this is very valid. I'm curious to get your take. What the hell happened to the team that blocked 8 shots in a minute against Florida earlier this year? What changed? What changed?
Their commitment. Their commitment.
How?
Maybe it's part of the youth that they're believing their own hype.
Yeah, but okay, and that's fair.
No, that they're
that's
believing
fair.
how good and you got to see it's a commitment. What do I say? It's a commitment to defense, and the defense, the commitment, it's an everyday thing. You got to commit to the defense more than the offense almost, whatever, because they were all in it together. So there's a great point. When you see them playing like that, and they do it inconsistently, right? They have to play somewhat that way to beat some of these top teams, but when they go out and do that, it's embarrassing because the inconsistency is so apparent, right? So what's the difference? Commitment to each other, and just say whatever else. But you know what? Back whenever that Florida game was, you guys were all fighting for ice time and all trying to prove something. And now, you know, not saying anything, but again, this is where youth comes in, and this is where they need a slap in the side of the head to get it back because no one's committed. And defense commitment, I guess, starts with the players, but it starts with the coaching. Right? You got to get it back to not worry, because here's the thing, Neil, what happens is when you're worried about opening it up and scoring goals, which they couldn't do in the past, well, you see where they're suffering. So in the past, we might lose 3-1, 4-1, but you're not getting blown out. You never saw the team that stunk in the last 3-4 years get blown out maybe about once or twice a year, to the embarrassment of what we've seen in the last 2 weeks. Colorado spots a 7 on you. Toronto spots a 10 on you. Arizona comes in and spots a 9 on you.
Yeah, and you can't have it. And look, I've kind of hemmed and hawed around it and stuff like that. And every time that they've had a meltdown like this defensively, they've come back and they beat Carolina or they've had a good stretch of play.
Yeah, for one game.
You can't have that. You can't have what happened last night. It's Arizona, and I know it's the NHL. I know, and I've said this has been a line I've always used. They all drive Mercedes too. Like, I understand that. I get that. But even with that being said, you can't have it against that opponent in that spot after what's happened since you can't have it.
Here's the thing,
you can't.
Here's the thing, what I always say, and remember this, is that Red Wings fans, they're fickle, but they're knowledgeable. So we all saw this coming. We all felt this in the past 2 weeks. This ain't something new, because when our team would play, and if there's something like that, you'd lay an egg one night and this would happen. but it'd be out of the blue, and it wouldn't happen again, right? It'd be like that. You've seen, we took it for granted that Arizona took care of Colorado at home the other day, and it was just one of those, it was going to happen eventually because, like you said, everybody drives Mercedes, right? Everybody gets paid. Everybody's a pro, right? But that's why I feel that we all, in the back of our minds from knowing this and watching this, had this feeling of this coming, and this is where it all culminates. And it doesn't help, people trying to get the broadcast and not, there's so many things that made
it was a bad night to have a bad night.
The firecracker went off, and it just so happened went across into Mrs. O'Leary's shed and set Chicago on fire. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like it was one of those bad luck things.
It was a very bad night to have a bad night. But hey, if you had the over in the game, like say you jumped on mybookie.ag, you're disappointed, but you were still happy. And why not? mybookie.ag. March Madness is here, everybody. We got it on the TVs here in the studio. We are off and rolling next week. The big tournament starts, and you can be down at mybookie.ag. Predict the winners in each round of the MyBookie Bracket Contest for a chance to win a Bitcoin, NFTs, also as well over $100,000 more in cash prizes. Whether you're filling out multiple brackets, betting the national championship winner, or simply looking for player and game props, MyBookie has you covered. Sign up today with MyBookie. Use a promo code Woodward. Make your first deposit. You get a free entry into the My Bracket Contest where they are giving away a Bitcoin to the winner. Selections for the bracket will start on March 13th, close March 17th at noon. So make sure you get your deposit in now with the promo code Woodward to secure that free entry. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a gambling problem? Call the Michigan Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Season for us, we're talking sports 365. Detroit Sports Network. Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. We got Sawyer, we got Sam Flannel. D-Mac has calmed down a little bit, I guess.
Nah, I mean, I'm frustrated, and Gromit nailed it. It's too much of the norm. We see this as it's not.
This ain't one night against the Coyotes.
It's too much of the norm, and you got to crack it now. Especially when it's like raising puppies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? If they do accident in the house too many times, well, you got to take a different tack to make sure that they know not to do it. And it's like it's frustrating, but it's also good because in the big picture, Neil, it's because they're getting better. It's because their expectations are higher. And you only get, because if this happened last year or the year before, whatever.
Well, I wouldn't have known because I wouldn't have watched.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, because you didn't have a job. Like, you didn't have your gig. So don't double standard them.
No.
You wouldn't have watched because you weren't getting the bag.
Well, that's true.
You didn't have to.
That's true.
To my point, we didn't care.
I wouldn't have watched as long as I did last night. I suffered through that. My son walked downstairs and he's watching. He's like, they scored again.
See,
and he looked down.
Bailed out by Oak Island. I was home in time to watch the last half of Oak Island.
He comes down and he sits on the couch. I think it was like 4-1 or whatever. And they score, and he's like, man, they scored again. It's 5-1. He looks down at his phone like he's looking at something on Twitch or whatever. And he looks back up, and it's 6-1. He's like, what happened? I was like, well, son, I think that's about the wrap for tonight.
I keep reading there that everybody's asking, bring back somebody who can coach the left wing lock. That was our thing until they broke. You can't work the left wing lock in a game. You can't hold guys up. Okay, the left wing lock would not work in this game because you cannot water ski, hook guys, hold guys up. It's getting their way. Game's too fast. So get that out of your mind. And you know what? People are asking who would I like to see coach if I was GM or whatever. I'd like Stevie, obviously, I'm sure in his plan is along the way, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see Rickard Grönberg get an opportunity somewhere, at least in the NHL real soon, and we collect Swedes, so maybe.
Does Blashill finish? Hot takes central right now. Does Blashill finish the year?
I don't think so. Not after this, because what I saw yesterday, I think is done. And I think what happens is that you'll find out real. I won't be here tomorrow and Friday, but you'll find out a lot. The home game tomorrow and the road trip to Calgary and Edmonton. But I would not be surprised that maybe at Alex Tanguay as an interim head coach for the last few weeks of the year.
Wow.
Because that's how unacceptable. And I'm just translating what I saw from the captain's face and his reaction. I don't get out of this chair and go hide for anybody. Ted Lindsay's not here anymore. He scared me the most. And Steve Yzerman, who runs my show. But I'm telling you, he's had it. Right? And you talk about a guy who suffered through watching all this game. He doesn't miss a minute. That's him same look, same whatever, just without that disgusted sneer. He let it go. He let you behind the bag. You're not supposed to see that, but I'm here.
He cracked a little bit, huh?
What?
He cracked a little bit because usually he's pretty stoic when he knows he's on camera all the time. But he knows he does.
But here's the thing: if he cracked a little bit, it was to show you that. Like he's still gonna if he cracked, but it's sort of like I'll give you this. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna. If I crack, I'm gonna empty the tank. You're gonna get it all, right? His little crack is like you spit it a little water. Right. You got a little leak. You know, you still don't get nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Chuck. Come on, man. We don't want to leave anybody in Canada right now. It's messed up. He said to leave them in Calgary and let them walk home.
No,
I said that's rude, bro. We don't treat family like that. He's still part of the family just because the job that's needed, the expectations and moving forward. Like, that's the one thing. Why y'all hating on him now?
Only Lane Kiffin gets left at the airport.
And building things to get where we have. And that's what I hate that. You act like the MLB and you don't even get guys in and tell your story. Anyways.
See, here's where I am. I'm kind of on AC's side with this. Firing him now accomplishes nothing. And that's kind of where that is kind of the school where I am a little bit. And I know everyone wants a pound of flesh, certainly with what happened yesterday. For me, I don't think that and I've said this, and I have been consistent about this. We're not at that exit of the highway. For me, it's a year-end review thing.
But this is more to the players. He would do this to slap them in the face and say, you did this to the players because they're not listening to this ain't happening. That it's a reverse sort of tactic to the message, right? Like if Steve and he could run it out the rest of the year and stuff like this. But if you want to make an impact to a young team, and the reason is, or to tell them why, because the message doesn't get across, doesn't it hurt you more in the next few weeks with what you're trying to accomplish and trying to build because you don't have that veteran team?
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, man.
I'm saying
I'm one of those guys I can say I don't know.
If you've lost them all, like we saw, and they're not listening, and we got the consistency that this is more the norm, 5.2 goals a game, you best be making something.
See, I wonder too, and I don't know, I guess it's a conversation better for when something actually happens. Detroit Dabber says firing him now gives you a window to see how the team responds. There's 25 games left. It's a good sample size. I see both sides of that argument. I do. I don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry. I don't.
That's
I
where
see
it's
both sides.
Yzer plan. That's where you don't have to worry about it, but know that, like, here's the thing. You saw it. You know these conversations we're having right now, he's already had with himself. So I love people. Oh, I'd love Gerard Gallant. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, he coaches in New York.
D-Mac, you know, everyone's a little discombobulated right now, D-Mac. You understand that.
The trap is not the left wing lock. That's the trap can be worked in this NHL because you can skate. I don't like when you guys are talking terminology that you don't understand. And yeah, in the playoffs, the trap works if you have a skating team. And you keep the Wings should go to a trap just to see if they can keep a team down to 2 goals.
Well, all right. What about this, D-Mac? There's been 68 hat tricks in the NHL this season. No, not all of them were by Arizona last night. But yeah, 68. Massive number, most at this stage of the season in 25 years. And D-Mac, I know that goal scoring is up some. I understand that.
Look at the biggest stat on there. Like, again,
62
what's the
different,
biggest stat?
62 different players.
And 62 different. This is right? That means that 62 of the 68 were by different guys.
Right.
What I'm saying is in the past, if you got to 68, that was shared by about 10 guys.
Right.
No,
but what about
your
that?
80s, Jagger, Lemieux, whatever.
The good times. That was the good old days, man.
That's
what do you make of that?
5.2 goals against was allowed because you were scoring 8 goals a game.
Yeah, but they all didn't come against the Red Wings, D-Mac. So, like, what do you make of that? Why is that?
They what?
Why do so many players have hat tricks? Is it just like a statistical?
I mean, this goes with the maturation of we talk about how the game has changed and evolved into more offensive. It's more of a skating instead of size, which means that the skill level of all these kids coming up and developing at a younger age is on display. And when you have the rules that allow them to, which is more offensive based and benefit the offensive guy than the defensive guy. When you put that with skill, kids are talented.
Right.
Guys are talented. You know, like that. Like that's what it is. I mean, it's everybody who's played hockey or seen the game or whatever like that. It's because of the execution and the space. And then you look at power plays aren't what they used to be. They run at a much higher octane. That's why PK is so important. You know what I'm saying? Like it's. But honestly, because throughout the lineup. The individual skill, right, is like we see in the combine, right? You got eight guys run under 4.4?
Every single year, there's just somebody new where you're like, wow.
But there's but there's talent. I mean, you look at and they explain the why, because all these kids either that grow up in the South or are on rollerblades. You look at this Zegras kid that's been doing these blindfolded things, like because the kid's prepared for it, right? They plan on being scorers. They're all scorers. It's nothing. It's the development of talent at such a younger age and the evolution of the game.
We got a question here, too. Who is the MVP in the NHL this year? I don't follow hockey. Oh, this from AC. Who's the MVP? I don't follow hockey. Who would you give it to right now? Is it one of those things where Draisaitl and McDavid? Because I think we're going to see this a little bit with Seider and Raymond, where they split the vote a little bit. And then Zegras, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think we'll see that with Draisaitl and McDavid, where they split the vote a little bit, and then Austin Matthews will slide in and get it.
It's not a question that most Seider at his position, points that he's played in the minutes, whatever.
Even though he anchors a defense that gives up so many goals, does that hurt him ever?
Well, look at how much he's involved, and you got to remember he's a rookie too, so he's going to make those mistakes. But does he?
But you know how media people are, dude, and they're looking for that so they can tweet that.
Here's the thing. Could give a rat's behind. You know,
but they're the one. You know,
I don't care. Like you asked me who I would pick.
Yeah.
Right. And not the popular vote or whatever like that. But it's different things. Like you can't tell me who you. Right now, you get to redraft who you redrafted from that draft to build your team around. It's a no-brainer.
Right.
It's Seider. You can't find these things. They're needles in a haystack. And you're going to have two of these guys, the right and left-hander, coming as of next year. But to your point, he's still got growing pains to learn. But go watch Victor Hedman his first year. Go watch Nick his first year. Stuff like that. He wasn't the perfect human right out the gate. But there is, right? Something has come to it. So, you know, it's one of these things. You know, I saw through the thread about Blash, you know, not making adjustments. That's part of coaching. Those are all the things that go into coaching, right? You know, how you adjust, how you communicate, what message you're getting across. What I saw from that Red Wings team is just that we're sick and tired. It's like your kids. Tune you out because you're preaching the same message. You know that if you want to get it across to them, you got to come at them differently. Or when you don't react the way you're supposed to react, right, in that situation, sort of brings up the red flag.
Right. No, and there is. It's just...
We're going to find out, though, Neil, by this conversation that we have next week, after this weekend, we'll probably know, like, a little bit more, and at least by the way that the Wings played.
All right, well, one thing I do know, I don't have to come back and look and find out and see. I do know that Planet Fitness is one of the best in the games as far as the gym world goes. That's right, home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Membership starts at just $10 a month for access to your home club. They have a black card option as well, $22.99 a month, still less than $1 per day. Gives you use of the amenities, unlimited tanning, the hydro massage, the massage chairs, access to over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses all over the world with unlimited guest privileges as well. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There's one open in Midtown Detroit at the Pistons Performance Center. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. Pull on into the parking lot. You're going to pass a couple on your way home from work. Pull on in there, join up, and get in there. It's the judgment-free zone. PlanetFitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness
is essential.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
What do you get when you mix fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken with our savory signature sauces? The best damn wings you've ever had. Wing Snob Traditional Wings. Try our Jamaican jerk or lemon pepper. And we toss them to perfection. When your wings are this good, it's easy to be a snob. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms, certified tanning professionals as well. You can join the Pepper Club. Get yourself unlimited tanning if that's how you want to roll. Don't forget, you can pick up Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, and Swedish Beauty lotions as well. Chili Peppers Tanning, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more on the way. Go to chilipepperstanning.com and find out the closest spot to you. Chili Peppers Tanning. Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house. We got Sawyer, we got Sam Flannel as well. A lot of chatter in the YouTube chat thread, too, about the whole Red Wings coaching situation, as you figured there would be. But D-Mac, my question to you, because you kind of made the observation, and I've noticed this, is you know a lot of recycled names that people want.
Retreads.
Yeah, a lot of recycled names. Why is hockey the king of the retread?
Network. What do you mean? You know why? It's the old boys network and everything like that. And usually guys that have played with each other or coached with each other or have that, it's the same way. And absolutely no Hitchcock, no Babcock, no whatever. The guy who deserves an opportunity, if you're not going to go, if you're not going to go to a Rickard Gronberg or whatever, is Ben Simon, who I will be down at Grand Rapids tomorrow, who's been there. Great guy.
Didn't we just
great
try
coach,
that route,
young
though?
guy, whatever like this. The message, the respect, but that's another guy. Another guy who you don't see that is coaching right now that deserves that, I would think, along your lines, is why not ask Sergey or Igor or Kazi or whatever, what they're doing and stuff like that, and get those guys back in the loop of their ideas. The best thing is Steve Yzerman. Who does he look into and having this conversation? I'm having it with you, which I'm grateful for. But he's having this right now with Drates and Nick and Nick Cronwall and Horkoff and Clears.
So you think it's like that
round table of what, boys? We're not hiding from it. We all watched it. They've all seen it's more of a norm. That's what I'm saying. So I would expect where this team's at that they go a different direction, because I don't know if there's anybody out there. Maybe John Tortorella, which would be one that I would. but I don't think that's the message you want here.
Gotcha. Scott Klingler. Hey, Neil, I know you're not a WWE fan, which is not true. I watch WWE with my kids. But what do you think of Logan Paul being in WrestleMania? I did want to ask that one. I saw that one earlier. What do you? Hey, good move, savvy move for WWE.
I mean, he's working. I mean, there it is. He's a social media star. He got in there, gets to, I'd love to fight The Miz and Rey Mysterio and
maybe
stuff like
Logan
that. But
Paul
I mean,
can
it
coach
just
the
goes
Red
to
Wings.
show you the power of social media. I mean, what are you gonna? Well, I mean. It's like I don't think he's going to be as good as Pat McAfee in the ring or Bad Bunny, but I'm sure that he takes pride in it, and I hope he gets embarrassed.
Could he develop younger players and maybe coach the Red Wings?
No.
Okay. I figured I'd ask. He does bring a Pokemon card out to the ring with them, so maybe he has that connection with the younger generation. I don't know, D-Mac. I ask these questions to you, man. I do. Yeah, but I was always curious about that. So the recycled coach thing. It's not because, and I had a buddy of mine that's a college basketball coach. He said, because I asked him about that with the NBA, like, why is it always retread names? And he said, Neil, you ever stop and think that maybe there's only 20 guys in the world that can do that job?
It's also true.
And I was like, damn, that kind of blew my mind.
But there's also true, but it also, and think about at different points. When do the retreaded guys get caught in? When the teams are getting close. When that specialty of this coach can get them over the hump, right? So in this case, we're in a different situation where you need a guy sort of to grow with it, but to come in. And that's why, here's the thing where I trust the hashtag Wiser plan is the fact that whoever it is, if there's a change made, or maybe there's not. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I got to sit here and you give me this mic, then I'll be mad and complain and whatever else. But at the end of the day, I still trust the guy in charge that he knows best. So maybe it is wait to the end of the year. I don't know.
CJ Schneider says Hinch is a retread. I disagree with that. That was unique. That was a unique situation. AJ Hinch is a retread. He was not a retread.
No, the only reason that he was even out there is because of the trouble that he got and had to, and that was sort of a
you got to fall on the sword.
Ballsy move to go get a cheater and whatever like that, and the way that he handled it and stuff like this, that was a retread with asterisks.
Right. Mike G says, in the Yzer plan, I trust, but in the meantime, the young players have to have some pride in themselves and play defensive hockey.
It's the effort. Somebody said it earlier, right?
It's a want-to game. It's a want-to proposition, man. It's like rebounding in basketball. You got to want
you know what? And I'm sure they do have a board. I'd have 5.2 goals per game. Everywhere in that dressing room. Because that's the embarrassing thing. Oh, you got your cookie? You happy? Oh, you got your point? Right? Take care of that. Because if you want to win, that's got to get down to 2.2.
And it's a want-to proposition. Pistons, though, on the flip side, have been playing some pretty good basketball. Chicago Bulls coming into LCA tonight. Can the Pistons keep their winning streak alive? They've won 3 in a row. Cade Cunningham has really turned it on as of late as well. He just had his 10th 25-5 game, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. All other NBA rookies have 10 of those games combined. And Cade Cunningham, D-Mac, is really making a push towards Rookie of the Year. And could you imagine this Pistons team if he were not on?
I just have both Sider and Cade Cunningham as Rookie of the Year. But the biggest thing is what we're talking about, what we're seeing out of Cade, is his consistency. Right. That if that's the guy, the man, the player that he is right now, you see that obviously the upside and stuff like this. But to your point, yeah, I mean, which goes to show you that thank goodness it's basketball. And then you look at what Troy Weaver's doing, right? And whether Marvin Bagley is the answer, whatever it is, but it shows you that if you put somebody there with him, he can adjust and play. I love the way that he involves everybody else, right? Like my mentality when I watch Cade Cunningham is he wants to make sure everybody else is on point, and then he'll figure himself out, right?
Well, and that was something when you and I talked when we were doing the shows right after he got drafted. And you asked me, you said, "What did you see when you called his games in college?" And what was my first response to you? The guy's going to make the basketball play. Whatever that play is, he's going to make the basketball play.
You see that in that because it's, I don't know. I think the thing that impresses me the most is not only it, and I talk about his maturity off the ice when he when he talks and being a dad and the person, but his maturity as the first overall pick, but as a basketball player, because he at times he does rookie stuff, but for the most part he seems like a veteran out there.
Right, and he's been very, very good as of late, really turning it on to the point where I think you can go ahead and pencil him in as we're all right with him. Now who do you go get next? But the flip side of that coin is, you're in a position now where there's 3, maybe 4 guys. You know what I'm saying, for the NBA draft right now? And look, we did this discussion a couple of days ago, and I know where you guys are, and you talked about like with being a young team and all that stuff, and winning's important, which certainly it is. Certainly it is. But at the same time, start to keep an eye on that kind of stuff, guys, because it is, how did you get Cade Cunningham? Right? How'd they get him? Because they got the number 1 pick in the draft. They got lucky, so that's part of it. But you create your own luck. Then what did they do? They made the correct pick, right? And then with what Troy, I think Troy Weaver's self-awareness of what he has as a basketball team and what he's trying to do with it is pretty apparent, right? And here's the question too, right? What is he going to do with Jeremy Grant? Now, like there's questions like, as the way that this team has played, let's just say since Bagley's got here, does that change Troy Weaver's sort of vision of what he's putting together? Does it? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Neil, I ask you, are you in panic mode yet? Are they within that 2 games? No, they're not, right? So we're okay. But they continue to play this way because they're trending upward, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the one thing. But I got to believe that it all works just like the Wings. It all works out, whether you get fortunate in the lottery or you don't get fortunate in the lottery. But I like what I'm seeing. Like, and here you go, right? Here's the one thing. What we're seeing out of the Pistons and that effort and that commitment and whatever, whether they lose or not, is what we expect out of the Red Wings. And we're not seeing that, right? We're not seeing that effort. That's the biggest thing, because to me it comes down to the effort. And we saw some of those same similarities, I guess you could say, where the Pistons went through their stretch. Remember that? They went out to Memphis and got murdered. And, they had stretches where they did play like that too.
But there's no expectations on them.
Right.
Right? I think there's more expectations now. And to that, they come out and play hard. And they're competitive. They lose competitively. That's what we want. Continue to lose competitively.
Yeah,
so they're getting there.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's certainly something to keep an eye on. And they are rolling right now. And Marvin Bagley certainly has made an impact on this game. And I knew the numbers before. I don't remember them off the top of my head. There are thresholds that Bagley has to get to, as far as the option that they have next year. I don't think Bagley's going to get to him, so he's only going to cost $7 million next year to retain, as opposed to if he got to those thresholds, he'd be 14.
Draft capital guy moving forward. That's a huge piece, because obviously if the chemistry.
Well, it's a little different in the NBA because the cap space, I think, is more valuable than the draft capital in the NBA. And I think for the Pistons, where, let's be real, we've seen this play out on teams across the league. And teams go through ebbs and flows. The Red Wings had it at one point. They've been at the peak of it. They've been at the valley of it before. There comes a time where you do have to overpay to get people to come to your spot. And the Pistons are putting themselves, you look at Bagley saving $7 million on Bagley, who I think certainly if you did the YouTube chat poll that would say, hey, 1,000,000% yes, 0% no, would say, yeah, you got to look to extend Bagley. But I think the cap space is just as valuable in the NBA, because if you're the Pistons right now, you're in that spot. And they might not be for long. I think Troy Weaver will, there are some Yzerman characteristics that they share. I think they're at a spot where when they want to get in the mix with a huge amount of cap space, they'll be able to. They'll be able to go over there and overpay if they have to.
And that's what are we talking about? Having the option. Right? Setting yourself up to have the option to do what you want. It's the same thing as being able to pick and losing these games. So when we're talking Pistons, at the end of the day, you want them to be in that top 3 to get the same chance to get that number 1 pick.
Yep, and that's how you run it. Just run the play. The play seemed to work last year pretty well, so I would say, run that again. Fulling Warehouse is a good play, too, that I know Sawyer will be running again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're going to have to run it almost every weekend now just to get that little itch of football, that we all crave. We're so used to it throughout the fall, and Next thing you know, it's gone. You don't know what to do with yourself. You're fiddling your thumbs. Well, I got something you guys can do. When you're itching on the weekend to go get some football going, just go to the Folding Warehouse right in Hamtramck. Super easy. You can find giant warehouse, so many lanes to play. I mean, you're not really going to have to worry about, excuse me, like struggling to find a lane to play, especially if you take care of that private lane reservation. You know, you go on their website, up to 10 people for 2 hours, around $120. So then that just takes the stress away of not being able to play or having to wait for a while. Super convenient, super easy. But if you want to risk it, you know, you like living a little dangerous, or you're going during the week, you can just show up, pay $10, play from open to close, throw till your arm's super sore. I mean, throw till you can't get enough. Such a good deal. And I mean, while you're throwing, you might as well, you know, enjoy yourself, have a nice refreshment. Maybe have a $2 mystery beer. Throw $2 in their machine. It gives you a random beer back. Makes your decision making super easy, super quick. It's way easier than having to comb through 100 different beers, try and find that perfect one for you. I mean, if you want to do that, go right ahead. They have plenty of beers. They have the selection for you to do it, but Mystery Beer Machine just takes all the stress, all the trouble out of it for you. And I mean, okay, you're already paying for drinks and everything. Now you got to worry about food. Well, Folding Warehouse does that for you as well. You can bring your own food in. You can pack a lunch. You can pack a dinner. You can Uber Eats, have a pizza delivered. Whatever you're feeling that night or afternoon, Folding Warehouse lets you bring it in, have a good time, enjoy it while you're playing, while you're drinking. Just the perfect thing to do for a social gathering, you know, corporate events, birthday parties. Whatever you're feeling, the Folding Warehouse can supply it for you. So if that's something you want to do, just go to thefoldingwarehouse.com. I'll say it again for Sam. Go to thefoldingwarehouse.com or just go in person at the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck. This is Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Think you're a big shot?
Oh, excuse me, it goes down!
Think you can make the big shot?
Washington fires and hits!
Woodward Sports wants to send you to the finals for college basketball April 2nd through the 4th in New Orleans. That's right, you and a friend in the Big Easy. We'll take care of the airfare, hotel, and tickets to see the finals for college basketball. Listen Monday through Friday to the Morning Woodward Show. Big D Energy. And the bottom line for your chance to qualify. If you can make the big shot, you and a friend are getting out of the cold into New Orleans.
Got it!
Keep listening and watching for your next chance to win. Powered by Planet Fitness, Centron, and the Sports Marketing Agency.
And it's over! Anything can happen in March!
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. We got Sawyer, we got Sam Flannel as well. We've ran the gamut here today. We've touched on it all. I guess we can get into the baseball thing a little bit. I know the fans on our YouTube chat thread right now, they're talking a lot about Allen Robinson and what the Seahawks are doing with their receivers, shopping DK Metcalf and stuff. DK Metcalf's in his walk year, becomes an unrestricted free agent next year. He will break the bank. There is no doubt about that. But just to give you a quick little update, Major League Baseball Players Association, they're meeting again today. I guess they did that. We met deep into the night last night, and we met till like 3 a.m., and both sides want to get a deal done, I know. But I'm telling you guys, look, I said it before, I'll say it again, they're not doing anything, and the owners aren't giving in to anything until the players start missing the checks. And the players aren't going to give in until they start missing checks, D-Mac. You lived through this, dude.
At the end of the day, when does this get solved in your opinion? And when do we hear how much longer does this drag out? First check would be paid. So you're saying that if that's the case, we got to go into opening day weekend, so beginning April or whatever like this. So do you expect after that first that things get done in a hurry? Are we seeing baseball by the middle to the end of April or no?
See, I think it's where you might see that deal get done around opening day, into March, beginning of April. You might see the deal get done then, because at that point, you don't just say, all right, we got a deal done, let's start the season. That's not how that works. You got to have the ramp-up period to it all. It's just, I think it's where the hammer's going to come, where the hammer always comes, is you're missing checks now. So I'll tell you what. Cave on this, cave on that. We'll nudge a little on our direction here, but here's what we'll do. We'll pay you for the whole season. We'll pay you a 162-game rate for 140 games. And the owners will do that, and the players will say, okay, yeah, we didn't get everything we wanted, but, we're going to get the whole check. But here's the deal, D-Mac, is the owners can go make their money back. You can't. The player can't.
Nailed it.
Yeah. The owners can say, well, we really wanted to re-sign Darren McCarty.
The owners have all the power because you did billionaires versus millionaires. We mentioned earlier that if you did a pie chart, 77% of the league gets paid $1 million or less. You know what? They can wait them out. And when you have that, when the bulk of your employment, and that's not paycheck to paycheck, but for the argument's sakes, right, compared to the big stars are paycheck to paycheck, they know. The owners know, just like any owners know, when he messes with your money, that's when it gets tight, because it's not just your money, right? It's your wife you got to hear from. And then maybe you got to support your kids. And maybe you don't know. Maybe you got some kids in college. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe everybody's situation is different because we all live this life, right? Going through whatever. So that's a fact that the Detroit Tigers, that big Old English D, look at it. Did we not learn anything through COVID? No matter what it is, they're still going to make their ways. We've lost. Look at how many guys that you've lost in sports in that 2-year pan that didn't get paid.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the reality. Then it's the reality of me sitting here that has lost 2 lockouts, probably close to $3 million.
And that's where it was too, because the owners could cave or say they're caving and pay you for the rest of the season, but they can make that back on you, because when you become a free agent, we say, hey, Darren McCarty's a $3 million a year, $2 million a year player. How about 1.8?
But if you nailed it right there with the fact that at the end of the day, the owners, right, are going to come out here and they're going to find a way to look like the good guys and blame it on the greedy players or stuff like this. So, I mean, really, is this... So, to me, no matter what's done, again, it doesn't really address the issues. You know what I'm saying? We're just in the same sort of position we were 5 years ago, which is sort of the anthill to the mountain of the problems we're in now. So it's only going to get bigger. Just like we're talking about the $100 million quarterback. That's baseball's on that trajectory of, because it's not improving anything or it's not fixing anything. Does that make sense?
Gromit 0237 says go see your local minor league team. And people do that for a little bit, but it's not the best players in the world.
But you don't go to the minor league games for the baseball. You go for the
Thirsty Thursday
and stuff like that.
The unlimited wings, the Thirsty Thursday, the all-you-can-eat seats, all that stuff.
$2 crafts.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's what people do.
Whatever works.
Yeah, whatever works.
The minor league game's great for family. They get the minor league and they've been to around here, whether it's like Toledo or the Loons or Traverse City. That's catered family.
Right.
Like the minor leagues, they do it no matter where it is. So. I mean, it's just sad because at the end of the day, if you love baseball, then this is the sick, sad business of it. And at the end of the day, I don't care. Millions never beat billions.
No, they don't.
Never.
But that's where it is. The owners are in that position where they can just make their money back. However they need to make their money back, they will. And again, like D-Mac said, they'll go to the media and say, hey, we gave up a lot. We gave up a lot because we love baseball.
Well, here's what
they do hold the hammer.
Right? The concessions from back in 2016 or whatever, there's probably 3 or 4 that the owners don't even care about that are sitting in the back pocket that say, hey, here's $1. Here's $1. Let's give them this. And they'll be like, oh, okay. But to your point, when people's push comes to shove, and to your point, Neil, that when the players are affected by their paycheck and if they stand stronger, it goes to show you more to the conviction, not that there's a win-win in all this, but then that's when you have, to me, that's the fear of having the season miss. But right now, I don't really, it's like at a 2. Baseball's at a 2 on my scale right now.
Right. And it's only going to be eroded further, man. And then when they do come back, less and less people will care, and the erosion will continue. And I know they're getting caught up in rules and stuff like stupid stuff too, like pitch clocks. Like, yes, baseball takes. Why does everyone miss the point of all this? They're like, we need pitch clocks. We need the game to go quicker. You have 3 minutes of commercials between every inning, man. That's what it is. But we're not going to get rid of any of those commercials because that's the revenue. Back in the day, you had 90-second commercial breaks. Now they're 3 minutes. Times 9, times 2 halves of an inning. Like, that's what it is. How come no one ever talks about that? That's the problem with baseball games and the length. Yeah, the batter stepping out and everything like that. That adds to it. But look at all the commercials that get played now. And no one talks about it because that's never
where
changing.
The money is.
That's never changing.
No, that's never changing.
So,
because it doesn't matter. And it'll change, Neil. It'll go to 5-minute commercials.
100%.
Right? Or it'll do what the wrestling's figured out to do. And by the way, it's Wednesday night, so catch All Elite Dynamite on TBS.
Someone asked about that. Give me 10 seconds, D-Mac. What do you got on it tonight?
Oh, I just think the roundup from Revolution and stuff like this to hear CM Punk and just everybody. Tonight will be more about the verbiage and the mic and wrapping it up. But man, like I said, from Revolution, it's a must see tonight.
Yeah. Gromit says clocks in baseball are blasphemous. I agree with you. Chuck Brewer says just run the commercial with the game on in a picture box.
Well, that's what
soccer
they do in
does
wrestling.
it.
That's what they do in AEW. That's what they do in wrestling.
Yeah.
They run
Soccer
the
never stops, and yet they get all their commercial revenue too. It's really revolutionary. It's crazy. Sports marketing agency's been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Check out the podcast of the sports marketing agency. This is the F Word. It's a series on fentanyl. Go to woodwardsports.com and give it a listen. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com. Again, that's thesportsma.com. And make sure you check out the Sports Marketing Agency podcast. This is the F Word, a series on fentanyl.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio. 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Sawyer here in the house. D-Mac will be out on Thursday and Friday. What do you got popping this weekend?
I'm headed after the show. I'm headed to Holland tonight, Holland, Michigan for comedy, and tomorrow I'll be Griffin's practice facility. I'm doing a huge show, and then I'm Grand Rapids opened a brand new comedy club, so I'm performing there tomorrow night.
Doing a little twofer, huh?
Yeah. And then I had to Chattanooga.
I like it. Okay. We got a busy weekend. I'll be going down to South Florida.
I feel like you. Oh,
yeah.
Exact. Man, you get to go down to South Florida.
Yeah, but dude, like it's.
Oh, you don't
get in Friday night, work at the studio all day Saturday, leave early Sunday morning first flight.
Down there, and
I will though. I do that. When I'm waiting for the Uber, like I go over under the palm tree, and I'm just like, it's almost like all I need is a draft sound. I need to bring Sam Flannel with me.
The air hits different down there, especially this time of the year. Right, Sam. It hits like the draft clock. Absolutely. The Florida air and the draft clock, 2 things I love.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. Will be a good weekend. So D-Mac will be out. I think I'll have Easy in here. Stick will make an appearance on Friday. So we're gonna do it up. What's up?
T-Foss tomorrow.
T-Foss tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Terry Foster. A guy that
big guns.
Yep, be seeing a lot here around Woodward Sports. My guy.
One of the things I wanted to
Rack, good old Neil, the one-upper.
Absolutely. One thing I wanted to see about tonight was brought up is the backlash between MJF, Malcolm Jacob Freeman, and Wardlow, his bodyguard, who accidentally forgot to have his ring and gave it to CM Punk to hit him with. And so there should be some good storylines all throughout tonight. Because it was such a great Revolution pay-per-view. If you haven't seen it and you're a big wrestling fan.
9 Drinks says it's 85 today in Deerfield Beach and sunny. That's actually where I'll be staying. I stay with a buddy of mine when I go down there. He lives in Deerfield Beach. So how about that, 9 Drinks? That's pretty cool, huh? Sawyer brought this one up. And I love these types of things. These things are always good for little quick hitters. You got to pick one running back in their prime. And I haven't even looked at this list, and Barry Sanders is on there, so it's over for me. So here's what I'll do to kind of spice that up. It's always going to be Barry Sanders for me. So, I would guess it's going to be Barry Sanders for you, D-Mac. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's cross Barry Sanders off that list. Who you got?
Now, in their so what are the criteria of
what do you want the criteria to be? Best running back. Who would you take if you were starting a team?
Running back.
If you were starting a team,
who am I taking to win a championship?
Yep, right now. If you're starting a team, who you taking? You need to draft one of those guys.
Walter Payton.
I'm going Jim Brown.
Jim Brown?
Yeah. I'm going Jim Brown.
Go wrong. You can't go wrong.
Here's why.
I like the duration ability. You know what you're sort of getting. The one thing is that I would ask that I question is who's the best one catching the ball in the backfield, because not really, you know what I'm saying? Like the in today's NFL, right? I want a guy that can catch.
Here we go, D-Mac. There's always got to be, what are you, the Aaron Rodgers of this debate right now?
No,
it's always got to be about you. Throw some caveat
Tomlinson
in there
or something. I don't know. I mean, somebody who's had some, or maybe those guys weren't utilized enough, and some of them have great ball skills on the backfield. I go Walter Payton though.
Yeah, Pistons fan 11. You got to pick someone you watch. No, I don't, man. Here's my criteria with Jim Brown. You guys will like this. I think it's pretty basic.
He's big.
So Barry Sanders is the best running back ever, except to Barry Sanders' dad. Barry Sanders is the second best running back ever. Barry Sanders' dad says that Jim Brown's the best running back ever. So who am I to question that?
The guy who made Barry Sanders
says that Jim Brown's the best ever.
Supersedes.
Is that very Neil Rule logic?
Hashtag pop Sanders. Hashtag pop Sanders.
Yeah. So that's where I would go with that. Tammy Chin says, "Great show, everyone. See you at 2:00.
Who'd you pick?
Have a great day."
I mean, I would either go Walter Payton or going off like somebody I watched, LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, that dude was amazing in his prime.
King of the 1 yard
touchdown. I'd like to see LT that in another organization. You know what I mean? Like that's a question too. Who would have had more success in that? Like who got ramrodded by being drafted to the wrong organization?
Yeah,
a lot of guys, right?
Yeah. Who do you got on that, Sam Flannel? I know you got Barry, but who other than Barry?
Actually, I believe that Walter Payton is the greatest football player who ever walked the face of this earth. So Walter Payton is my answer.
Yeah, well, Refrigerator Perry's got more rushing touchdowns in the Super Bowls than
it wasn't his fault. It was terrible coaching. They should have given the ball to Walter Payton.
He was so great,
crime.
they would have made sure he got a touchdown.
Are you kidding me? Matsui had a couple, too. It was
46-10.
Exactly. So Walter Payton was such a great guy that he didn't even need the shine because they didn't need him. He was a team guy. Winner. Yep. I agree with you. Hey, great minds think alike, Sammy Flannel. We got Walter Payton. Suck it, man.
9 Drinks says, pack that gypsy vodka and get it down here, Neil. I'll do my best, man. I'll do my best. Now, I appreciate everybody tapping into the show today. D-Mac, great job out of you, Sawyer, Sam Flannel as well. But most of all, you guys. Appreciate you guys listening. All your comments, all the engagement. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Myself and T-Foss. D-Mac, have a good weekend. Get it in. Deuces. I'll get it in. And it's Woodward Sports Network, Big D Energy. Well, see you later.